The time is 27 minutes to 8, and this is Conversations on Energy FM 102.1 and Choice FM 101.1. People make demands to their peers all the time, but what would it mean if one made demands to themselves for a change? On Motivation Monday tonight, Ebenezer Mamabulo, a coach and motivational speaker, talks about demanding more out of yourself. You're welcome to join in the motivation. Our WhatsApp line is 079-295-1212. The number again is 079-295-1212. And you can also call us on 015-151-0135. That is 015-151-0135. Ebenezer, we had you the previous Tuesday. It's just always a pleasure to have you. Welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me back again.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm quite well. Demanding more out of yourself. Why should anybody demand more out of themselves?
If other people demand more out of yourself, you'll find that you are living your life to meet other people's expectations of you. You are meeting the needs that other people have of you and of your life. But when you demand more out of yourself, then you live your life meeting your own expectations and meeting your own standards that you've set for yourself.
Okay. So setting standards of excellence, that's what you basically just alluded to. Why should one do that, and how do they even go about it?
The problem we've got today is, I would say, it's conformity, or settling or living a life of mediocrity. We get to a point where people just want to do just enough. Maybe at work, they just want to do enough so that they don't get fired. Or even at school, they just want to perform just enough so that they will pass. But when you set these standards of excellence, you are actually pushing or driving yourself towards reaching your full potential. When you are living a life of mediocrity, you never get that chance to say that I have tapped into the well of gifts that I had. But when you do push yourself beyond those limitations, or when you've set those standards of excellence for yourself, then you get to a point whereby you are reaching your full potential. So that's why we do that. And I would say that there are certain things or things that you and I need to do so that we will set those standards of excellence for ourselves. The first thing that we need to do is that you and I need to take ownership of our life. If you are going to sit there at home and say that whatever happens to me, or you are waiting on the government or someone else to take care of you, you are not going to reach a level of excellence. What you need to do is that you need to take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your successes. Take ownership even of your failures, knowing that whatever it is that's happening in my life, it's because of the choices that I've made in my life, and the consequences that I'm experiencing, it's because of those choices. The second thing that you and I need to do so that we reach these standards of excellence is that we need to have a sense of destiny or a sense of purpose. If you and I live our life without a sense of purpose, we will be going about our lives, wandering, or as what Zig Ziglar called meandering generalities. You'd go about with your life doing activities or things that you have got no idea why you are doing those things. Or you'll even live your life meeting other people's agenda of you. But when you've got a sense of purpose, or when you are pursuing purpose with your life, you get to a point where you know that this is where I'm going. This is what I want to achieve with my life. This is the meaning or the fulfillment that I want to reach with my life. So then it also helps. Another thing that you and I need to take into account is that we need to have self-discipline. Without self-discipline, you and I, or whatever goals or dreams that we might have that we want to achieve, we are not going to be able to reach those goals. You need to get to a point whereby the standards that you've set for yourself, you keep those ones. The commitments that you made to yourself, saying that this is what I want to achieve, or this is the goal that I want to achieve, whether it's through your finance or whatever, you need to keep your commitments. Another thing that you and I need to have, it's emotional intelligence. Without emotional intelligence, we will live our life based on emotions. When you are supposed to do what you are supposed to do at work, you'll be like, today I don't feel like working. Today I don't feel like doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when you've set those standards of excellence, you know that irrespective of whether I feel good or I don't feel good, whether I feel like doing it or I don't feel like doing it, but because this is a standard or this is a value or a principle that you live your life by, you'll make sure that let me keep this standard of excellence irrespective of how I feel. And another thing that we need to take into account is character. Without character, or you and I can have gifts, you and I can have talents and everything that we might have, but without character, our gifts might take us to higher places, but it's only our character that will keep us in those higher places. It's only our character that will help us to stay there wherever those opportunities have opened for us. It's only our character that will help us or to sustain us on whatever level that we'll be in. And the last thing that we need to do is that we need to check, or we need to divorce the excuse mentality. You'll never reach your full potential as long as you've got excuses that you are having in your life. And I like what Mafarafara says. He says that you and I are only as good as the last excuses that you and I have made. I am as good as the excuse that I gave yesterday or the excuse that I made yesterday, because that excuse that I made yesterday, it's the one that's keeping me where I am today. So we need to take care that whatever it is that we want to pursue, or whatever goals and dreams that you and I want to pursue, let us not make any excuses. And when we do that, that's when we will reach those standards of excellence.
It's an interesting one, Ebenezer, that especially for a young person, you speak about people who make excuses, because of often times now, also especially because we also spoke about conformity, you find that people are just comfortable with what they have in present day, and don't then start, aiming for even bigger things. Mm-hmm. And then they have excuses to say, no, but I don't have to do that because I have this. Mm-hmm. How does one step out of, this comfort that they find themselves with, wherein they then clouded by these excuses to say, I'll do it next year because I still have this now, and how does one step out of this?
Excuses help, or no, not help, but excuses give you and I an identity. And according to psychology, you and I will rise up to the standard of the identity that you and I have given ourselves. Now, let's say, for example, you have gotten to this point where you are always making excuses, or maybe you are supposed to be pursuing your dreams. Then you'll say that, I'm waiting for Rebecca to give me the opportunity, or I'm waiting for whoever or whatever to give me those opportunities. Now, you find that you end up giving yourself that identity that, I'm not going to do this because I'm waiting for that and that, or I'm waiting for whosoever and whosoever. Now, when you do that, you get to a point where those excuses end up, they end up making a cushion for you, a cushion of a comfort zone. So what you and I need to do is that when we have set those standards of excellence, or when you've got a dream or a goal that you and I need to achieve, we need to hold ourselves accountable. We need to know that whatever it is, or whatever excuse that we can come up with, there is someone somewhere out there. I like what John Maxwell says. He says that whenever you and I are making excuses, when we get a chance to meet in public, or when you meet someone in the same field as you in public, next time when you meet, he's going to have an unfair advantage, because now when you were supposed to be preparing, when you were supposed to be working on your dream, you were making excuses. When you were supposed to be building your business, you were not doing that and you were making excuses. So that's the things that we need to take care of so that we don't fall into this trap.
On Motivation Monday tonight, we're talking demanding more out of yourself with AB Mamabolo. Send us a message to our WhatsApp line 079-295-1212. That number again is 079-295-1212. There's a price that has to be paid for one to attain just about everything they have. Could be a bucket list. It could just be that it's their aspirations. Today on Twitter, I saw people were talking about, having a plan with your life. And I'll just get the specific words that people were using, but it was a huge trend. And people were just talking about some of the things that they would like to attain. There's a price that has to be paid in everything for one to endure the pain that's going to come with it, but looking at the ultimate dream and the ultimate purpose that they want to live. Talk to us about paying the price.
The biggest mistake that I made when I discovered my purpose, or when I had dreams, I thought that it was going to be easy. I thought that because I know what my purpose in life is, then it's going to be easy. But as I've grown, or as I've been on this journey pursuing my purpose, I realized that there is a heavy price that you and I have to pay. And if you and I are not willing, or we find ourselves that this price that you and I need to pay for us to reach those dreams and goals that we've got, then we will give up, or we will even end up making those excuses. Now, there are certain things that you and I need to take into account as we are paying that price. The first thing that we need to take into account is preparation. There is no substitute for preparation. You cannot just wake up one day and you're this brilliant radio presenter. There is a time that you need to invest in yourself, where you are preparing, where you are learning about communication. That price you need to pay. If you don't pay that price, then when you show up in public one day, when you try to, maybe you're hosting a show, you'll find that, no, you don't know what you're doing, or even you are not even confident with what you are doing, or you give a bad presentation. Why? Because you missed that step of preparation. The second thing that you and I need to take into account is sacrifices. You and I, no matter how many or how big those dreams and goals that you and I have, without sacrifice, we will not achieve anything. You and I need to sacrifice time. There is time that we are investing that, when you are in a relationship, you invest time in a relationship. You go out on dates and you spend time calling each other. The very same thing happens in your dreams, on your goals, and your purposes. You have to invest the time. And sometimes that time, the price that you have to pay with regards to time is that you will lose time. You lose time that you were supposed to be doing, maybe spending time with family or even playing games and all those things. But that price of time that you are paying, it's going to benefit you tomorrow. Another thing, it's enduring the process. There is no substitute. The biggest mistake that we make today, and especially with being used to this instant gratification that we are getting from social media, we no longer want to sacrifice by enduring the process, or you no longer want to have patience, or you no longer want to wait. But nothing happens in life as fast as we need it to. As much as you might, after you've posted a status, then you get immediately a like. But in real life, that doesn't happen. You have to go through the process. You have to wait. You submit a CV. Then they go through and they search which candidate is the best one that they want for the job that they've got at hand. You have to wait. There's nothing that you can do. I always say that the longest route to success is the one that you take through a shortcut. Because when you take the shortcut, you realize that tomorrow that, in this shortcut that I took, I ended up spending 7 years of my life. And that 7 years is equivalent to the time that I should have invested in myself.
Looks like we have a caller on the line. Good evening and welcome to Conversations. All right, we've lost that caller. Tsebo from the University of Venda has actually come to our rescue, AB, and Tsebo says that Rebecca is talking about a vision board that's trending on Twitter, and it's actually called #MyVisionBoard. My question is, can one use that to demand more out of themselves?
Oh, yes, you can. Because what happens in a vision board, I would say that the best way to have a vision board, let's say, for example, maybe you've got a space in your room or a space in your house that you have. Now, make sure that you put pictures of who you see, if maybe whatever it is that you want to see yourself achieving. If it's a car, have a picture of that car there in your vision board, so that every time when you wake up, you would see yourself in those moments. Or use a technique that we call in psychology or in neuroscience that we call priming. When you express your emotions and you even use your physical body to see and feel yourself in that moment. So have that vision board, and it will help you also achieve that standard of excellence.
It's Motivation Monday tonight, and Ebenezer Mamabulo is our guest, standing in for Nhlanhla Mafarafara, and we're talking demanding more out of yourself. Should you have any questions or comments, our WhatsApp line is 079 295 1212. That number again is 079 295 1212. You can also give us a call on 015 151 0135, and that is 015 151 0135. We continue with the motivation after the break. The time is 12 minutes to 8. This is Conversations on Energy FM on 2.1 and Choice FM on 1.1. And on Motivation Monday tonight, our guest is Ebenezer Mamabulo, coach and motivational speaker. And we're talking demanding more out of yourself. Share your comments with us. Our WhatsApp line is 079 295 1212. And the number again is 079 295 1212. You can also call us on 015 151 0135. The number again is 015 151 0135. T. Nkosi from Mangweng on WhatsApp says, good evening, brother and sister. It means being afraid of yourself. It cannot take you to your achievement.
Oh, yes. You and I have to face ourselves so that we'll reach whatever we want to reach.
Why would anybody be afraid of themselves, Ebenezer?
What happens is that I don't know if the viewer remembers the show we had on Deep Inner Work, because now the thing is, there are certain things that has happened to you or has happened into your life. You might find that there are certain emotional points or certain triggers that you've got in your life because of the things that has happened to you. And when those triggers are triggered, you might find that you are afraid. Sometimes you even feel that you are not worthy of the success that you desire, or you feel that you even get to a point where you are afraid that the success that you are demanding, who am I? Or you even ask yourself, who am I to dream this big? So now that's where you and I need to do the deep inner work that we need to do. We need to face ourselves, we need to face our fears, and we need to deal with our insecurities. When we do that, we will be eliminating that fear of success that we might have.
A message from a good friend of our show, Ntlantla Mafarafara, who you're standing in for tonight. And Ntlantla says, I'm already enjoying this session. Good evening, Rebecca and Ebenezer. I have learned that, open code, if you don't spend time achieving your dreams and goals, you will be used as a tool to help other people achieve their dreams and goals, close code. To change that, you need to demand more from yourself. And another one from Musa from Madiba Park, who says, greetings, guys. Does prayer bring money or success?
There are certain elements, or there's a certain area where prayer can take you. But after you have prayed, you can't substitute hard work for prayer. After you have prayed, go and do the hard work that you need to do so that you'll achieve that.
And hi, my name is Prince Mudeme from Westernburg. I really enjoy your show. I would like to ask your guest on how can I overcome procrastination, which negatively affects my studies and also lowers my performance at work.
Sometimes when you find that you're always procrastinating, you need to associate or find someone who will always keep you accountable.
Keep that thought. Ebenezer, we have a call on the line. Good evening and welcome to Conversations.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
Good. No, I just wanted to ask a question on the line. This is possible.
All right. You can ask a question now.
I'm online.
Yes, you're on air, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, no, I just wanted to find out when is enough, because sometimes you might want more, and we just need to know, how to cut that balance to say when is enough, when you are achieving, when is enough success. There's something like that is called enough success.
All right. Ebenezer?
That depends on you, because you might find that the goals that you had, you have achieved them, or whatever you thought was impossible for you, you have achieved. But the trap with that is that once you've achieved that success, you start celebrating yesterday, or you celebrate who you used to be yesterday. Now you find that now you are no longer growing. And growth, I would say that growth is a core need that you and I have. When you reach that element where you've achieved everything you've achieved, we see this with people who have gotten the money that they dreamed that they could have, and even more. Now after that, they are no longer doing anything. They end up taking drugs and all those things. Why? Because now you are no longer growing with your life, and you want something to distract yourself. So that depends on you, but make sure that after you've achieved that success you wanted to achieve, make sure that you keep on growing.
Are you answered? All right, thank you so much. You were still talking about the listener who wanted help and they want to overcome procrastination, as well as that very same procrastination that seems to be affecting how they are working even at school and at work.
Yeah, as I was saying that sometimes when we are procrastinating too much, or when you've tried all that you could so that you could keep yourself accountable, you need to find someone who maybe you could call an accountability partner. Someone at the end of the day you'd go to and say, you know what, this is what I've done. Or someone who will keep you accountable with those dreams and the goals that you've got. Now make sure that if maybe you don't find that person, then you need to give up that identity that I am a procrastinator. You need to be accountable for yourself. As we are talking about holding high standards for yourself, or being self-disciplined and living a life of high character. Make sure that you don't make excuses. No one is more committed to your dreams than you are. So don't wait on someone else to keep you accountable, or to help you get out of or to help you stop procrastinating. Make sure that you take personal responsibility so that you will always do whatever you say you are supposed to do for your life.
A message on WhatsApp. Good evening. What I've learned is that people must stop dreaming and start setting goals and act on them. This is coming from Royal Masuluge at Nobody Ramatiba.
And that's very important. You need to stop dreaming and start doing. Even you have got the biggest dreams and goals. If you never stop dreaming and start doing, I always say that people who dream but never act are daydreamers. But when you act or when you execute, then you'll make your dreams come true.
Let's talk talk about having the mindset for success. What does one need?
As you are busy or as you have set that standard of excellence for yourself that you are pursuing, there are times where you might reach a slump or you might hit a wall, or you find that, as much as I've set these standards for myself, I am no longer moving in the direction that I want. Now, you need to have someone or a coach who will help you and I to develop this mindset of success. You might have the mindset for success, but there are times when you reach a slump and you'll be like, today I don't feel like doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is what I also noticed about my life. You'll find that there were times or when I was experiencing a lot of pain in my life, pain from home, pain from every area of my life, and I found that, I no longer wanted to do this. But what helped me through those moments, or when those hard moments happen, you need to develop the mindset for success. And the mindset for success that you and I need to have, you might have a coach who will help you develop that mindset for success. And you also need to develop that for yourself. Number one, when you are developing this mindset of success, you need to make sure that you know who you are. Knowing who you are, knowing what gifts you've got, knowing your limitations and knowing your weaknesses, so that when you reach that slump, you know that, this is me and this is what my limits are. Now let me go and ask for help. You don't ask for help because you are weak or you can't do whatever it is that you are doing. You ask for help because you want to remain strong and you want to keep the commitments that you've made for yourself. The second thing, know the gift that you've got for your life, or know the gift that you've been given. You and I have got unique gifts that we've been given by our Creator. Now, when you know those gifts, now when you reach that moment where you can't go beyond, where maybe you are limited by the way you are thinking, or you've experienced so much pain in your life that now you are getting into this self-destructive behavior or self-talk. When you know your gift, you can go to someone with a specific question or with a specific need of help that you're going through. You go to a psychiatrist and say that, I feel this and that within my body, or I can't do this and that because of these emotions. Then you know what specific type of help you need. The third thing, develop the systems that will help you and I to keep consistent or to become peak performers. When you've set these standards for yourself, make sure that you've got a system that will help you. Because when you create a system, what happens in your brain is that the area in the brain that's responsible for making automatic decisions, or your subconscious mind, it's called melanin. Now, when you are busy with those systems, it helps you and it helps your brain make faster synaptic connections. Now, when you do that, you find that certain things, you start doing them automatically. Why? Because you've developed the systems that will help you always be having that mindset of success. And the fourth thing, as much as you and I might want to serve our gifts to better humanity or to help people, what you and I need to do, or what I call the biggest tragedy in life, or the tragedy of purpose, is that you might find that there are people who are saving their gifts, but that gift has become a misery to other people because now they are depending on other people for their living. Now, when you've discovered that gift, or when you are busy fulfilling your purpose, make sure that you can turn that gift of yours into a source of income. When you do that, now you are no longer depending on other people's charity for you to fulfill your dreams. You are no longer depending on donations from other people so that you can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. And the last thing, become an asset for yourself. Don't be a liability to other people and even be a liability to yourself. Make sure that those standards that you've set for yourself, you consistently achieve them. Make sure that you become accountable for yourself. Now, when you do that, you will be living a life of high performance, and that's what we call demanding those high standards out of yourself.
Before we actually close, you spoke about the importance of knowing the gift that one has been given to serve the world. Mm-hmm. Is it easy for one to determine that?
Sometimes it is easy because you find that when you were a child, you grew up in an environment that encouraged the use of your gift. But when you don't grow up in that kind of environment, it becomes hard. Now, when it's hard, you need to take things like psychometric tests. Go see a specialist or a psychologist. They've got psychometric tests that can help you to discover your gift, that can help you discover your strengths. Or you can even go online and take your personality tests, or you can take all the other tests that are available, or even your IQ test. Make sure that if you don't know what my gift is, go and search, or even books. There's a great book or two books that I read which helped me to discover my gift. One thing was Strength Strength Finder. I mean, go and find that book, and in the book, after you've read the book, you learn about the different strengths that people have. Then after that, you'll take a test, and also it's the one thing you need to know. And that book about the one thing you need to know, it talks about what you need to know about yourself, or the different types of personalities or gifts that you and I have. So when you do that, then that will help you discover that gift you have.
All right, you're going to give out your social media handles just now, as well as your numbers. But right now, just after we conclude the show, please, when you leave here, when you go to your Facebook or Twitter, on Instagram, just write a list of all those books that you say have changed your life, so that then we can have the listeners also just get in them, because, they might be trying to write them down, and now that we're struggling with the name of the authors and so forth, I think it could be quite helpful. But maybe just also as we conclude, what are your social media handles, and do we have a quote for the week?
For my social media handles, unfortunately at the moment I'm off Facebook and I'm off Instagram.
That's too bad.
But I'll send you those books and the authors and the names, so that you would post it on social media.
All right.
And as regarding my social media handles, if you want to get hold of me, maybe because you can't get hold of me on Facebook or Instagram, catch me on WhatsApp on 071 639 7807. Or if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I have got my assistants there who are helping me run my social media. So you can just send me an inbox there, and they will help you. Just search for Ebenezer Mabula, whether it's on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or Facebook. And the quote of the day that I would have, it's the one that I like from Mr. Mafarafara. He says that you and I are only as good as the excuses that you and I have been making with our lives.
Jeffrey Pakisolutsalwatman says, hi guys, thank you so much for the motivation. You are indeed touching lives. Keep up the good work. And that's where we're going to leave our conversations tonight. Thank you so much, Ebenezer Mabulo.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next on Energy FM is Agrili Chopwind. On Choice FM is Stanley Brown, and a big thank you goes to my producer Mami Morashwa, as well as Mr. Emmanuel Kwinda. We meet again tomorrow evening, same time, same place, with more conversations, God willing. Good night.